So I'm out here, guys, working on the fifth wheel and trying to get the rear end buttoned up. I know it seems like it would be simple, but it's not that simple, guys. I got a bunch of wiring, plus I got to figure out my brake lights, turn signals. I've been tracing the wires, using a battery to run my RV plug. It just hasn't been warm enough to open the door and back my truck in to plug it in, so I've just been powering it with the battery. I think I found all my wires. A little sneak peek here. This is what I got for tail lights. Kind of neat looking. It's got a little gasket, and then it's, you know, parking, brake, and turn signal. I actually have 6 of those, but I think I'm just gonna run 2 of them here and then 2 of them over there. So that's what I'm gonna do for that anyway. And then I've got a marker light that's got to go up there. Haven't quite figured out what I'm going to do there, but to be legal you got to have 1 or 3 lights or whatever up there. There was 3 red ones. I think I'm just going to put a bar up there. It's just going to make it easier. It's going to give me 1 connection, 1 wire connection. But anyway, I've been fiddling with the wires here, getting them routed and hooked back up. And I think I just about got them all figured out. So I guess the next step really I need to do is I need to start insulating this. So I'm going to get my my insulation out. I'm going to insulate it just like I did the rest of it with the foam insulation. So that ought to be fun because all these sections are different sizes. So it's going to be fun cutting all these out. Okay, so I figured out where I want my taillights to be, and that's why I have this piece of plywood right here, because that's where they're going on the trailer. I've drilled holes to run my wires through to hook them up, and I've got 1 more hole because I'm going to run 2 of these lights. And you can see I got wiring running right down through here where I need to drill my hole. So a little tip here is I got a piece of metal and I got it between the wires and where I'm drilling. So when I run my hole saw through there, I hit the metal and not my wires, because I can't move the wires because it's too tight. So just a quick tip there. No damage, guys. Okay, guys, so this insulation cuts fairly easily. I've done it quite a few different ways, even used a saw at one point. But pretty much you just take I just take a razor, and usually I gotta measure out what I'm doing. I'll use a straight edge most of the time, but I just use a razor to scar it, and then she pops right into or whatever you're doing. I use the table saw if I need a whole bunch of the same size. I use my table saw, just zip it through there. But the foam cuts pretty easily. So there we go. Fully insulated. finally. Oh, a couple days of brutally boring work. But I got it. There's a few areas that I can't completely insulate. I have to leave room for wiring and stuff, especially for the lights. And then up there for the cargo light, there's a porch light, and then there's a running light up there. So as insulated as I can get it. But it is fully insulated. I didn't really think the day would come where this thing would be fully insulated, but it is. Slide room, everything's fully insulated. But the next step is I gotta clean this all up and then get it ready for the plywood. Putting 1/4-inch plywood on the back of this. 2 sheets ought to do it. So I got to transfer holes. I got to get measurements and stuff. I got to transfer the holes over to the plywood. That'll all be fun. Then I'll be able to put the diamond plate aluminum on it. Hopefully that's going to happen today. It just progress seems really slow, and but I am getting somewhere, so I'm gonna keep going. Well, there it is with the plywood on. That's 1/4-inch plywood. Most of the trailer is actually made out of that Luan, 1/4-inch Luan. For some reason they have the 1/4-inch plywood now, but it is super expensive. I think it was $26 or something for a 4x8 sheet. If I would have done that with the whole trailer, it would have cost a fortune, but most of the trailer is made out of that Luan. The reason I got this plywood back here is just to strengthen the trailer. You know, that plywood's really going to help. I'm trying to remember if there was plywood back here. I don't think there was. I don't think there was anything back here. I was going to go with 1/2 inch, but I thought that's kind of overkill, so I went back to the 1/4 inch. But feeling pretty good getting this buttoned up here. Kind of struggled a bit with this, but they're 4x8 sheets. Trying to do it myself, so had a little bit of a struggle, but got all my wires sticking out where they need to be. The holes are pretty close enough anyway, so just used my trim bit on my router to get the window opening. That's just so much easier than trying to cut it. That door there, I actually went on the inside, drilled some holes to reference where it was, and then I used the door. I traced the door out, and then I just used a jigsaw to cut that out. But that door there it's actually the hole I made to run new water lines because I pulled them out there. And it gives me a little better access to the hot water heater and stuff from outside of the camper. So when person's like winterizing, they ain't got to keep going in and out of the camper. It should help. I don't know. That's what it's there for, though. It's just a little better access to the back of the hot water heater, and a little bit of the sink and some of the water lines. So anyway, guys, hopefully I'll get that aluminum on here, and we'll be even closer to button this thing up. I got to clean out that plastic right here. You see it's all full of crap. I got to clean everything up. I got to put all my stuff away before I get my aluminum out. But I got to clean that out, and then I got to fold this up and staple it. Staple it to the thing before I put my aluminum on. This is actually the sheet. It goes the whole length of the camper under there. The whole bottom's covered with that heavy plastic. But I'm going to take me a break right now and get something to eat, and then I'm got to come back, clean up, and hopefully start putting some aluminum on. So there it is, all skinned with the aluminum. The window cut out. So it's looking pretty good, guys. I chose to run one sheet this way, one sheet that way. There is going to be a seam right here, but I can't help that. It's going to be black anyway. It'll be hard to see. It's going to look good. That a little extra, and I wrapped it around there. There'll be a piece of trim on the corner though. Once I get that top trim done, which I'm going to go after next, finish up the roof, trim up there, and there's on the other side I got to do the same thing, but it's getting there, guys. Got my window for the kitchen here, getting this ready to install. I just run around with some butyl tape, black butyl tape, and it just comes in rolls like that. I actually ordered a box of it. It's got I don't know how many rolls, but there's a lot of rolls in it. You can use a lot of this stuff when you're sealing up a camper. It's butyl caulk or butyl tape. And that's what you use to seal everything up with, and this stuff never gets hard. I peeled some original stuff off this window, and it was still soft. And this is 92, probably made in 91, so still nice and gooey to keep everything sealed up. So once I get some help, I'm going to pop this window in. It's held in with a piece of trim that goes on here, screws on all the way around, and it sandwiches it between the wall. So here's the trim ring that goes on the inside of the camper. You can see there's holes all the way around it. It's screwed on to the window, the inside of the window. These are the original windows that I'm using on the camper. Would have liked to have upgraded, but if anybody that's ever priced these out, they're super expensive. Of course, it seems like everything on these campers is super expensive, but I have to deal with what we got here. I'll work with these for now. Windows are something that can be replaced fairly easily on a camper, so maybe someday we'll get an upgrade. See ya. Just push it into place.
Oh, that.
Yeah. Okay, so a bunch more work here. Finished up. The window in there. Got my lights installed. Got the trim for the separate sheets of diamond plate. Got my edge trim on. Was able to finish the trim off there. Able to finish the roof trim. Got the trim up there. My clearance light. My porch light or scare light, whatever they want to call that. Got that up there. I'm going to convert that to LED. I bought some other LED ones, but didn't have any black ones, so I got to get some bulbs or something. The trim on this side. Able to finish off the trim there. Able to finish off my roof trim there. So the roof is pretty much sealed up now, guys. Got my lights installed. I'll turn them on here in a second. Right now I'm painting that door. Getting it ready to go back in for good. But the roof is sealed up, guys, except for my air conditioner's got to go on there. And then I think I'm going to add some of that Eterna Bond tape on the edge, on the top side, on the edge there, all the way down, just to give it like a double seal up there so water don't get past that trim. But yeah, guys, it's looking good. Got a little bit of school bus back here looking maybe, huh? Well, I guess I'll set you up. We'll turn these lights on. You can see what they look like. So that's what they look like here in the shop, lit up. I think it turned out pretty good, guys. Like I said, it kind of reminds me of school bus looking maybe. Or maybe even Corvette looking taillights. They're fairly bright. These are, I don't even know what brand they are. I picked them up a long time ago. Probably can't even find them again, but hopefully they hold up. But yeah, I got all my lights are actually working. You can see there's a running light down there. So everything appears to be working on light wise. So that's good. So I've been doing all kinds of little things on the trailer here. Ton of work, guys, has gone into this thing. Even just the past week here, but I mean, I got my grab handle there installed. I'm probably gonna paint it, but they fold in like that. And I've tested all my lights. All my lights are working on the camper, so that's good. Like I said, finished up all my trim there. I got my fridge vent installed. I'm waiting on this vent. I went to the local RV place and they didn't have the vent, which is ridiculous, but I've got that ordered. That's the stovetop vent. I already had that one installed, but I had to get that one installed, so I got that one in. And then the reason that's white and this is black is this white one will probably be painted whatever I do with the siding. So it'll just go with whatever I do with that. But water heater, still haven't decided on what I'm doing with that. Again, went to the local RV place and he said $1,026 or something for that water heater. That's the old one. I don't think that one's gonna work anymore. But yeah, I about crapped my pants when I heard $1,000 for a RV water heater. So I may go with a tankless unit or something like that. Still looking into that, but I'll probably have to order one fairly soon because this camper is probably coming out of the shop fairly quickly. I've ordered a hitch, so as soon as I get that hitch, I'm going to get it on, then I'll probably be pulling this thing out. But anyway, guys, the look of what I've got done so far. Pretty happy with what's happened, so I'll probably keep going on this thing little bit here, a little bit there, and see if we can't get this thing done this year maybe. But I guess, guys, that'll do it for this one. I'll see you.